click this button and say, yo, what up? How's it going?
I'm good. Hopefully you're doing good.
I'm well. I'm sorry. I'm a little sick. I'm just a little sick. Getting over it though.
Yeah.
We've got Tetsutetsu. Looks like set 3 Tetsutetsu with set 4 in the sideboard.
Yes.
What's going on with this Tetsutetsu list? Hit me with a pitch.
So, long story short, I just got into this and I made this deck right before set 4 came out, and I was like, oh shoot, there's another set coming out. Okay, I need to look at the cards. So I was like, okay, I think those cards can do okay with it, but I don't know. Right now, everything that's not in the side is what I have, like in my deck that I physically have. So I know some of the numbers might be a little funky, but yeah, I don't know. Main point of it is just to build lots of speed while doing damage and just hopefully wreck my opponent. But
Okay.
I was also trying to find ways to, I don't know, maybe try to, like, for example, compression sphere, because I know momentum's going to be a big thing in this newer set.
Yeah.
I honestly don't really need this card, but I just like how it says if I block with it, they discard a momentum. But I don't know. I was just trying to think of stuff, but
no, I think it's cool. I think it's really, really cool. So here's the big question from me. Are you wanting this to be a deck doctor of, here are the cards that I own and let's make the best thing that I have now, or do you want this to be this is the buy list of this is the best thing this is the best Tetsutetsu that I could possibly make, and here's what I need to go out and get singles of?
we can do buy list.
Okay. Then I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna slam some cards into your deck. Why Void, if I could ask?
I'm just a big fan of Tenya, and he kicks. I don't know. That's really it, if I'm honest.
That is a good enough reason for me. This card is hilarious in this deck. Oh my goodness. I'm just doing a little looking. So new to card games in general, or just new to My Hero?
My Hero.
My Hero. What have you played in the past?
I mean, I've barely played Pokemon. I did for a bit, but that's really about it.
Okay. I dig it. Void Tetsutetsu. Well, the good news is all the set 3 stuff is like unbelievably cheap.
Yeah.
Rebound sidekick. Love that. This card's cool. How do you feel about Tetsutetsu Fist as a card?
I do want more, but I know one thing I'm trying to focus a lot on is just the kicks, just to increase the speed. Or I don't know if that really makes sense, but
yeah.
But I don't mind adding more either, because I do have more. I just couldn't find a way to make it like flow with the rest of what I was trying to do.
Sure.
But I'm hoping that like you can like help clarify what I want to do too, because I don't even really know.
I think that's completely fair. Okay, so attack. All right, let's take a look at a couple things in the sideboard here. So I've put just an absolute shit ton of stuff in your sideboard.
No, you're good.
Then we get to chat about. Let's just talk about the attacks first. Okay. First and foremost, coming out of set 4, excuse me, we've got Gecko Stomp. 3 low for 6. If it's completely blocked, build the top card of your deck. And then Deadlock, this thing gets 3 speed. Your next one gets 3 speed. So at Deadlock, this is a 6 low for 10 if you decide to discard a card.
Okay.
Going all the way back to set 1, we've got things like High Engine Kick, which can either be an 8 high for 8 or a 6 high for 8, depending on if you want to discard the card for your ability.
Okay.
Reciprocal Acceleration Kick has got this absolutely sick enhance, the bottom enhance, so you can remove kicks from your card pool in addition to discarding momentum to pay for its EX ability. So you minus your progressive and make this thing very fast. So in your deck, when you decide to discard the card for it, it's going to hit really hard and be unblockable. You're just going to slam them for 10 damage for free.
Yeah, I did want that card, but I feel like that card's a little harder to get.
True,
but
yeah, you just gotta go find it on TCG Player, and I truthfully I have no idea how much it's worth.
Okay.
And the kick engine is gonna get way better in set 4, so if you're going to pick them up, I would pick them up now because of cards like this, Rising Engine Kick. This card says your next kick gets -2 difficulty, so you're allowed to play like Gecko Stomp, High Engine Kick, Rising Engine Kick, play Reciprocal Acceleration Kick. And then instead of it being an 8 difficulty, it's now a 6 difficulty. Or like you just like go Gecko Stomp, Rising Engine Kick, Recipro, and then it's on a 5 on a 5 on a 5. And so you just commit no foundations, and then clear your card pool, and then just keep swinging. Very good, incredibly good.
Okay.
Binding Kick says if it deals damage, you draw a card, so they just have to high block it. Now that's it kick-wise. I mean, we've got Recipro Burst, but I think that Acceleration Kick is just going to do better of what you're trying to do.
Okay.
This card's also just like an insane kill condition. But like, if you want to do kick stuff, I think that obviously Reciprocal Extend has to be a 4 of. Rebound Sidekick is an insane card. I'm gonna cut all the non-kick stuff, right? So like Tetsutetsu Fist is just gonna be gone. Falling Thruster Kick, as cool as this card is, there's just better printed stuff. Even Ida 3, who was printed this card for, he doesn't even run this card. This card's just a little underpowered for what it's got going on.
Okay.
Fierce Whirlwind, amazing ultra rare for what you got right now, but does not work with our kick package. Same thing with Hardened Uppercut. Same thing with Compression Sphere. And so now we get into the stuff that we have, right?
Yeah.
In your character, I am not a huge fan of Flying Thruster Kick. I think that this card is fine. I don't think this card is amazing, you know? Strictly because of who your character is. If you wanted to switch to an Ida 1, if you wanted to switch to an Ida 3, if you wanted to switch to an Eraser Head, right? These characters that give a bunch of free speed on their face, Flying Thruster Kick is where it's at. Flying Thruster Kick is awesome. But your guy doesn't say the word speed on him at all, which means that we have to use our foundations to find this speed, and that is inconsistent, if that makes sense.
Yep.
I love Hardened Frenzy. I think Hardened Frenzy is really tight. If we were playing a more traditional Tetsutetsu, I would definitely Hardened Frenzy, Hardened Jab every day of the week. But because we are not, I think that Frenzy is going to dip. I think we're going to get rid of it.
Okay.
Jetstream Crash, I think, is a really good budget option. I think this card is really, really cool. And I think that until you get access to these other cards, Jetstream Crash is a really good choice to put inside of your deck. It's got powerful. It's got this clause of if blocked, if not blocked. You can pump it up to 9 damage to like say that your next kick attack gets 3 damage as well. So like you don't have to use your character, or if you do, it acts like a Texas Smash of like oh shit, if I block this and he throws another move, then I'm just like, I'm toast. It's got a lot of cool mind games with it.
Yeah.
But if this is going to be a buy list, right? The first thing that I would do, 4 of this. I would put in 3 of this because this is a 2 check and that is scary. I would play 4 of this. Otherwise, you could do 3 of this and 1 of this as like an alternate kill condition. But inside of your character, this thing just doing 10 damage by itself and being ungodly fast is probably just better. So for the time being, we're just going to go 4 of you and 0 of you. Where we at? 25 cards? We got to cut some stuff. That's okay. I'm going to put in 1 Gecko Stomp because I want it to be a little higher on the table. And then 1 Biting Kick because I want it to be a little higher on the table. Okay. Block Zone. Here's my lows. Here's my mids. Okay. All right. I'm going to take Binding Kick and I'm going to toss it up to a 4 of. Boop. So the first thing... Where'd you go? The first thing about this is the combo enhance doesn't exist. We don't care about it in the slightest. This is just a, if this attack deals damage, draw a card. It's got a good solid low block, and that's what matters about this one. Gecko Stomp, I think, is going to get cut on the table exclusively because it's a 5 diff with a high block, and we don't actually have room for that in the list. Acceleration Kick, 5 diff, high block. Jet Scream Crash, 5 diff, high block, right? We're going to take Flying Thruster Kick, and it's going to leave entirely because of our character. Where are we at? 25. Let's look at our block zones one more time. So we got 6 here. We got 7 here. We could toss this up by 1, right? And be crazy with it. Take Rebound Sidekick, drop it down to a 2 of, and then what does that do? 24 attacks? Let's go back to block zones. We have to play 8 of this. So it might just be cutting Rebound Sidekick altogether, but man, this combined with this is so good. I don't think we're allowed to do that. I think what we do is actually this. Let's cut you down to a 2 of. Let's cut Biting Kick down to a 3 of. And then leave that there. Ooh. Okay.
Yep.
All right, so here's the combo, right? So we have Reciprocal Extend, which draws a card. We've got Binding Kick, which draws a card, which is going to keep our hand size large so that whenever we feel like it, we can discard the card for the +4 damage. The big secret of Tetsutetsu is if you discard on every single attack and your opponent can block every single attack, you're a sitting duck. There's nothing you can do, right? Yes, you do want to have your hand empty, but you only want to have your hand empty 1 time on 1 attack. After that, you want to have your hand full so you can block everything. And so having things that put cards back in your hand, feels very good. From there, we need big bombs that like hit and do stuff. This card is more damage reduction as well as more stats. Obviously, Rebound Sidekick is just a good card. Gesturing Crash, good card. And then these, High Energy Kick is a filter card. So I can get rid of foundations in order to pick back up attack cards. Or if, like, let's say that they're at 8, right? Or less than 8. 8 or less. You play the High Engine Kick as your first move. You discard an attack card, one of these Rebound Sidekicks that can't get to 8 damage. Give this thing 4 speed. And then redraw a card. Discard a foundation to give it the 4 damage. This is now an 8 high for 8 that you didn't pay anything for. Just blow them out of the water, you know?
Yep.
Yeah. On to actions. So this is you're new to the game, and that's okay. 5 hand size characters have a hard time playing actions. It's very, very tough to get these locked in our hands, especially I'm a big engine trouble hater. I'm going to drop this down to a 1 up for us. I think this card has value. I think this card can be a tough sell sometimes. I would much rather have something along the lines of Ruthless Mockery that says after you block with it, everything gets -2 damage. To say that, like, I don't even necessarily... It tells my opponent that they should stop attacking me. You know?
Yeah. That's good.
And so, like, we could put this in at a 1 of, and The only issue here is this is a 3 mid block. You got to figure out how you're able to block with it. Onto the foundations. First and foremost, I love first impressions in a deck like this. I think first impressions is so good, and honestly, like, what a sick budget option. This is flip for +6 stats depending on how my opponent interacts with me. It's incredible. Male bonding is pretty good. The only issue with male bonding is the only way to pick cards that we build up is with our character, and we can only do that on defense. We can't do it proactively. It's all reactive. Manly Friendship as a 4 of is great. Hardened, we're going to take out. This card is not very good. Resistance as a 4 of, stunning. Calling for backup, we're a 5-hander. We have to play this one at a 4 of. Heroic Lineage. Is this card still $1 million?
I'm not sure. I haven't checked, but I only have 1 copy, so. But I'm sure I can get more.
I'm gonna go look on TCG Player, because if it's $1 million, we don't need it. This card feels really good when it's useful, right? After they increase the damage, you just respond commit for -3 speed. Insane. No, I don't want a TCG Player subscription. Heroic Lineage is $5. All right, we can spare $5. Natural Leader. This card is so cool, but not quite worth it. I mean, it might be worth it just for the +2 speed. I don't know. This card's in the chopping block. Actually, this card's in the chopping block because I'm positive that Fusion is not worth any money. And so, like, playing this one is just better, right? Because it's also -2 speed, so we can actually block stuff.
Okay.
So Manly should be a 1 of. It's unique. Manly Passionate Guy should be probably a 3 of. Lesson from Tayaki. This card is not very good. This card just makes my opponent do things slightly out of order, and is just not where it's at.
Okay.
Yeah. You follow along so far?
Yep.
Oh no, our high blocks, where'd they go? Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is I want to take Sense of Justice and put it up to a 4 of in your deck. This card is so incredibly good in your damage reduction decks. The Void Symbol is going to eat this card alive, I think. Name a keyword, your rival's attack gets -X speed or X damage, X equals the number of attacks with that keyword in the card pool. It says if you play a tribal deck, I have more copies of Tetsutetsu on my face. Of I'll just reduce your thing to 0. Or you can Tetsutetsu and then just reduce it. It's gone. It's not a real attack. Card's absolutely incredible. Card's very good. Up next, if you can find things like Crushing Truth is really cool because you can block with it, build it. After you take a move, you pick it back up, and then you block with it, build it. The only issue with this card is it's a 3-minute block, and so blocking with it twice is going to be a little tough. Web of Blades, insane 1 of. Dissolving the Conflict, insane. What a sick 2 of. After you're half dead, you can put their card back in their hand. Really useful if, like, let's pretend that you're fighting your own deck, right? They are forced to play this Reciprocal Acceleration Kick on a 7. They play it on a 7, they check a 3, they commit their 4 cards. You put it back in their hand, they try to play it again, they check another 3. Sometimes it just ends their turn. They don't have the 4 foundations to commit to continue their turn, and so it's just over. So this lifting their card back to their hand just is like it's over. They just don't get to play the game anymore, which is, I'm certain, annoying, right? 71 was 62. We got to cut some cards, I think. 17. So look at these mid blocks. Yeah. I think from here, I think we have the start of something good. So I'm gonna just start cutting stuff that is, because again, this is supposed to be a here's my buy list. Here's what I'm aiming for or towards.
Okay.
The first thing that I'm gonna cut is we're gonna take male bonding and we're gonna get rid of it, and as well as we're gonna take first impressions, drop it down to a 3 of because I think it's cool. We're gonna take So Manly out of the deck altogether. 67. I think that we could take... I think we could call this a day. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this reciprocal acceleration kick, put it to a 3 of, and I am going to put in the single copy of reciprocal burst. Oh, over blades. You'll be a 1 of still. Thank you. And then let's go to difficulty. How many go? Let me go look again. One more time. So what I'm looking at now, right, is our 0 diff count is incredibly low. Which as a 5-hander, we kind of need it to be like a little higher than what it is now. So I just want to go look and see what the 0 diffs we have are. Oh, we've got things like Saving Bakugo. This card's insane and is a common. We've got things like Gotcha. This card is very good and is a common. So let's make room for these, right? Let's take Saving Bakugo and put it to a 3 of. Let's take Gotcha, put it to a 4 of. Sometimes in our game, the best thing that a card could do, is just be built really easily, right? So we could take things like this Heroic Lineage, drop it down. We could take Resistance and drop it down. We'll take First Impressions and drop it down. And so now when I take this Gotcha and put it at the 4 of, I haven't absolutely wrecked my numbers. 70 cards, 22. I want to cut just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Let's take Fusion down to a 2 of. 17. I'm not allowed to cut any high blocks. I can't touch the high blocks at all. Looks back at block zones. My lows, we can take mainly down to a 2 of, and I think feel fine. Right? And then here's my mids. Look at all these mids. What if we take this one and put it down to a 3 of? Okay. So what I have done now, right? I have sculpted this list into a Tetsutetsu kick package.
Okay.
This is a buy list. Here's the things that I want. I think that this idea of this void kick package is going to be absolutely cracked this next set, strictly based off the back of Rising Engine Kick. I think this card is going to be very, very good at making Reciprocal Acceleration Kick an already fantastic card even better. And so I think that this is really good. Here's the last thing that I suggest about your Tetsutetsu build. Are you in love with the character Tetsutetsu? Like from the
somewhat.
show?
Somewhat, but what do you got?
So, the character that plays this the absolute best, better than anybody else, is Eraserhead. Eraserhead says that all of your kicks get +2 speed. Eraserhead says that my opponent's character doesn't work sometimes. Eraserhead says that all of my opponent's moves have -2 speed, as long as I have an erase, which you can go pick up an Eraserhead and an erase for 7 cents total, I think.
Yeah,
this is the best character to do this kick engine, because like even look at all of your moves and pretend they just have 2 extra speed. Nuts. Absolutely insane. A 6 mid for 4 that draws you a card, and your next move is going to get +2/+2. This is a 5 low for 4. Just kidding, a 5 low for 6. That says your next thing gets -2 difficulty. This thing is a 6 low for 6 for free. For free! You already had 4 tape in your deck. All of these foundations just work for an Eraserhead deck. With that said, Eraserhead is one of those decks that it's way easier to mess up on, right? If you mess up one time, it'll kill you. Whereas Tetsutetsu is a little more forgiving. If you want to take the game hyper seriously, you want to be ultra competitive, I don't think there's a better character in the game than Eraserhead. I have this running joke where if Stockfish, the chess robot, played my hero and played Eraserhead, he'd never lose. It's just not possible. we are not Stockfish. We are not. We make mistakes. And so Tetsutetsu is just like an easier character to maybe steal wins with. Eraserhead, you just got to work way harder. But if you're willing to put in the work, this exact list, take Tetsu out, put Eraserhead in, take out Engine Trouble, take out Ruthless Mockery, put in 4 Erase, you got a deck. And this is a deck that could go and win a regional, I think.
Okay, I'll remember that. But my friend uses Eraserhead, so I'm not trying to like copy him in a sense. But
sure, that's totally
I'll remember
fair.
That.
Yeah,
I'll remember.
That's totally fair. Is he doing this whole kick engine thing?
No, he's doing. I don't. He just built off the starter deck.
Fair enough.
So
fair
he's
enough.
just building it.
Okay, so that is probably Eraserhead 2 then, yeah? So it's actually like a different guy. There's 2 different Eraserheads that we have inside of our game.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'd only be kind of copying him.
You're right.
Yeah, there's this guy, and then there's this guy. And this is the 7-hand size one, the one with the red background, is the one that I'm talking about.
Okay.
He plays at the same time. This guy probably plays this deck really well too. So you figure out how much you want to copy your friend. That's what we'll be. With that said, was this helpful? Do you have any questions? I felt like I took the reins and I just ran with it.
I just need clarification on Gotcha. I just don't get how to play it.
Sure.
So if I already used it to pass a check, can I still use it?
So it wasn't committed, right? So the easiest way to in this specific deck to use Gotcha is 2 ways. Number 1, after it gets stunned, my opponent plays stun 1, you'll commit the Gotcha, and then their move gets -1 speed because it was committed during the enhanced step, right?
Okay.
If you're committing it to passive for checks, it is as the attack is being played, and not during the enhanced step. And the number 2 way to use it is this number right up here, and this is the number that we care about for it. On my first turn, I want to be able to build out my if I have 5 foundations, I want to be able to play out 5 foundations. Because if I have 5 foundations, then I can start playing attack cards very safely. Right? If I only build 2 foundations because I can't pass enough cards because like I check a 2 when it matters because my deck is all ones and 2s and no 0s, then the chances of me losing the game increase exponentially. They go skyrocketing.
Okay.
So like this thing's job literally is it is a workhorse in the foundation base of this card lets me build better. This card is literally a foundation of the deck. Right?
All right. Yeah.
Here's what I would do if I were you. Do you have Tabletop Simulator?
I don't.
I would invest in it. I think it's the one of the easiest ways to play a bunch of different decks and figure out what it is that you want to purchase and buy. Unless you're planning on getting unless you're diving head deep and just gonna get a master playset of everything, right? Go in and get some. Get some games on this and see if it's even a thing that you like, right? There's no reason for you to spend all the money on these cards if you don't like the deck, right? I think Tabletop is like $10-20 and it has access to a ton of different games. It's really, really worth it. Play the deck. Find somebody and you can just go look at my Discord. People are playing games all the time. Go to the main My Hero Discord. Play some games with this and see if it is a thing that you like. Otherwise, come back to me next month and we can find something that's a little more your style. Deal?
Okay. Sounds good.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Any last minute things before I let you go?
Honestly, no. I'll just have to try it out. I'm
Hell
still
yeah.
a newbie, so I don't really know what to look for.
That is
So-
completely and totally fair. Well, I'm glad I got you a good starting point. Yeah, seriously, go get TTS. It'll be the best investment for My Hero you've ever done, truthfully.
Okay.
All right, man.
All right.
Stay on the line long enough for me to shoot you the list, and you have a good rest of your night, okay?
All right. Thank you. You too.
Thank you.